What's up everyone, and welcome to this episode of Revive Outdoors. If this is your first time to our channel, just wanted to say thank you so much for watching today's episode. And if you are coming back to the channel, thank you for coming back. In today's episode, I am excited to bring you all the details around DNT Optics Hydra 325. This is a thermal optic that is under $1,200 after you use our discount code REVIVE. It's going to get you 10% off, and then they're going to make a donation back to our mission here at Revive Outdoors, where we teach adults how to hunt. And so please use that discount code, as it helps keep this content free for you and allows us to keep moving forward with our mission and our vision here at Revive Outdoors. But what I want to do in today's video is help you make an informed purchase decision. If you would have told me that you were looking to buy a $1,200 or less thermal scope maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I would have told you, hey, you may want to hold off on that and you want to save a little bit more money, maybe getting that $2,500 to $3,000 range. However, fast forward to 2025, technology's come a long ways, prices have come down, and now you can buy an affordable optic that is going to get you what you need during the nighttime with a thermal optic. But prior to that, that would have been kind of sketchy. You wouldn't have been able to identify a cow from a coyote, and it could lead to some safety accidents that may happen, and you just don't want to ever compromise your safety or the integrity of your hunt by shooting something that you don't need to shoot. And so now you have this technology where you have something like this that's under $1,200 once you use that discount code, and you have the ability to have a 3-in-1 thermal. So this is a really good starter thermal because you can start with it on your gun, but you're going to quickly realize scanning constantly with your gun on a tripod is going to get tiring, and you're going to want a scanner. So if you wanted to upgrade, which a lot of people do, is you can take this, pull it off the gun, use it as a scanner, or even have it as a backup for a second gun when you want to take a friend out and use it as a clip-on. So it's a 3-in-1. You can use it as a standalone, a clip-on with a regular scope, or you can as a scanner and use it that way. So lots of opportunity here for under $1,200, and I'm excited to dive into the details. What we're going to do is we are going to unbox this. I'm going to show you everything that's included. It has really good packaging. It comes with everything that you need. We're going to put it in all the different formats, so the scanner, the clip-on, and then on the gun. We're going to run through the app that DNT Optics has for you that's really easy to use and connect this device to. And then as we go through this, if you have any questions, please ask those in the comments. More than happy to help you out with any questions that you have, and if I can't answer them, I'll get them over to the DNT team. That way they can get those answered for you. But before we get to unboxing this, what I wanted to talk about is different sensors and different resolutions that are out there and different base mags. So the main things that you want to look at is what is the base mag set at, and then you want to look at what is the sensor, the resolution of that image that I'm looking at. This right here is called a 325. When you use their super image resolution, this is like a booster, it's going to clarify that and give you that 384 resolution image. And when you use that, you are going to have a lot more clarity when you use the digital zoom on that optic. That is simply like zooming in or scooting up closer to your TV. So it's going to give you a little bit clarity compared to being back in the room. But when you do that, sometimes on these thermals, it allows it to get a lot more pixelated and not clear of an image. When you use their image booster that is built into this, it is going to help clarify that as you use that digital zoom, which is a really neat feature and allows you to take a sensor and really amplify it and get a better view out of that. But let's go ahead and move over to the unboxing and talk about all the details of everything that's included, and then we'll start to get it on the guns. Before we start completely unboxing it, I just want to say that I am a sucker for good packaging. I love good packaging. It doesn't take much effort for companies to make packages good, and so I really appreciate when they do, especially when I'm spending $1,000+ on an optic. But when you open this up, you can see it's got 2 little magnets here, so nice closed box, looks really great. And then inside it's going to have this box that is going to be for transport. So if you're needing to transport it, keep it padded, keep it protected, you're going to be able to keep this for the long term. And then go ahead and unzip this. And as we move inside, I'll start from the top and then work my way to the bottom. So the very first thing here you have a lens cloth. So you open that up and you have a nice branded lens cloth if you ever need to wipe down your optic. Next thing that you're going to have here on top is going to be the manual, and so it's going to be able to walk you through all kinds of different sections. It's going to provide a quick startup guide. It's going to give you all the information that you need to get rocking and rolling with this thermal, which I'm going to take you through most all of this today on the video. And then this box is going to have the batteries and the charger. And so you have two 18650 batteries. These are going to be rechargeable batteries that you're going to have here in the pack. You can open those up and you can see it's nice to have two. Only one is going to need to run the camera, so you can have one on charge or just have a backup, have them both charged before you go out on hunts. You're going to usually burn through one battery in a full night's hunt, so it's always nice to have a backup and not have to worry about charging it on an all-nighter when you are out and about. It's going to have your USB cords. It's going to come with two, so it's going to have one USB cord for the actual rechargeable battery charger here, and then another cord that will go directly into the scope. And so that is going to be the top section. And then moving to the bottom here, you're going to have your scope mount. But what I love about this is it provides you a really good reminder of what your inch pounds need to be. So one of the number one things that happen when people are mounting scope is they get them too tight and they break the scope or they break the mount. So this is only 30 inch pounds. And then this, when you're actually screwing it in, these 4 screws to the scope itself, is going to be 35 inch pounds. If you do not have a torque wrench, you can obviously order those for cheap off Amazon, but if you don't have them, just err on the side of caution. Don't over tighten these, because when you over tighten them, you break. So err on the side of caution. It doesn't need to be anywhere near as tight as you think that it needs to be. Get it nice and snug and then be done. But if you do have a torque wrench or you order one, be sure to get that pressure just right so you don't over torque it and break your scope. And then moving to the best part, we have the Hydra here. This is going to be the scope. We're going to pull it out of its little bag here, and this is the Hydra HS325 from DNT Optics. So this right here has the eyepiece. It has good eye relief. I love a good eyepiece. And then it's going to have the eye cap that pops on or pops open and closed there. On the top, you're going to have the power button. You're going to have a zoom button, a menu button, and then a recording button. So you're going to have a lot of features that you can access in the menus through this, and this is going to have some different details that I will walk through in the rest of the video. On this side, you have a USB-C port, so if you do need to quick charge it, you can. And then if you want to run it maybe longer, you want to have it tethered to a battery, like a portable battery, you can do that as well. And then on this side, this is where you're going to unscrew it and put the battery in place. So you have this here, that little 18650 battery is going to go in, and you are going to be good to go. And then on the bottom here, you have those 4 mounting screws where you're going to mount that scope mount into it. So that is going to be it for the unboxing. If you have any questions specific to this part, let me know. Now we'll move over to the scanner portion. Starting with the scanner mode, I'm going to show you how first to put the battery in. It's going to be really simple. You're going to have a plus and minus sign on the battery right next to this barcode, so plus and minus. And then on the scope itself, you're going to have a plus and minus there. So you're just going to match those up, slide that in, and then screw this down. When it comes to powering on the optic, you're going to hold down the power button right here on the front, and it is going to turn on. When you go into your settings menu, you're going to hold down this menu button, and you're going to go into your settings menu. This plus magnification symbol and this video are going to be your up and down buttons. So as you're moving through the menu, if you want to proceed forward, you're going to press the menu button. If you want to go back, you're going to hold the menu button, and then you're going to go up and down again with that magnification glass and that video camera button. And so what you're going to do is you're going to navigate to the reticle options. You're going to have a variety of different reticle options as you go through there, and what you want to do is you want to navigate to the no reticle, unless you for some reason want to keep a reticle up in the screen when you're using it as a scanner. For me personally, I want everything out of the way. And then once you have it set up without that reticle, then you're going to just hold that menu button down and back out. But what we'll do now is we'll lock it down in this tripod. We'll look over at the cows and the horses, and you see what that image looks like. Now that we have this set up on our tripod for scanning, of course, I typically wouldn't use it in a tripod when I'm scanning. I'm going to be holding it and then moving around. But just for video demonstration purposes, we have it here in this tripod. And so coming down onto it, I'm just going to go ahead and show you what it does when you press the zoom button at the front. So if you press that, it's going to quickly go to 3x, Press it again, it's 4x, 6x, and then 8x. And then you press it again, it's gonna back out to 2x. And then if you press the center menu button, it is gonna quickly change from white hot to black hot, and then you can change it to red hot, iron hot, and then back to white hot. If you quickly press the record button at the rear, it is going to start recording. If you hold it down, it's going to start recording. But once you have it done recording, you're ready to stop, you're just going to press that record button, give it a nice firm press, and then it's going to stop that recording for you. Moving down to the magnification button, if you want to hold it down, what it's going to do is going to be a quick adjust for the brightness, so you don't have to go into the menu and adjust it. You can simply adjust it on the fly by holding it down. You can see it's going to have 5 different brightness levels, and it's going to come back down to 1. If you hold down the menu button, that is where you're going to get into the menu itself. You can turn off and on the clip-on mode, which is going to be talked about later as we move to the clip-on part of the video. You can go down, you can turn your Wi-Fi on, you can turn your Wi-Fi off through that portion of the menu. You're going to have your reticle zeroing, which we'll talk about once we put it on the gun. You're going to have your reticle settings, where you can choose between different reticles, or you can hide it like we talked about earlier. So you have 8 different reticle settings that you can navigate to depending on which one you prefer. And then you have the reticle colors that are going to be red, green, yellow, and black that you can alternate through as well. And then you're going to hold that menu button to back out again, and then you can go in here to the pip settings. So pip, you can choose to have it left, you can choose to have it in the center, or you can choose to have it in the right, whichever you prefer. And then you can see it's just going to be a zoomed in version of what you are looking at. So it can help you focus really on your aim when you go to shoot. I personally like having the pip in the center just like this, because I can quickly look up at a more zoomed in image of what I am shooting at, and I can quickly make that aim adjustment and then pull that trigger. It just allows me to get more intense of a focus. So like the whole saying is, aim small, miss small. You have the ability to do that when you have that pip pulled up. I always run a pip. It's a personal preference. You don't have to. You can obviously turn it off if you want to, but it's just a complete personal preference. And then once you scroll past the pip, you're going to go on to the next menu, and you're going to have auto manual recoil activated. Again, I have it in manual mode, so it will record when I want it to, and then you can turn it completely off. You can back out. You can see you have the image super resolution, the booster that I talked about earlier, and that's where your optical zoom is going to get clearer. So I'm going to put that on, so I just maximize the clarification of my image. And then as you scroll down from there, you are going to have some thermal image settings that you can navigate through and get a little bit more deeper into the options. And then you go on down, then you're getting into a lot of your functions. And so for me, I don't ever want it to power off, so I have that auto power off on. And then it comes with the gyroscope on, at least this one did. I'll turn it on so you can see what it looks like. For the gyroscope, the purpose of this is going to help you level out. So whether you're wanting to zero, it's going to help you have that X and Y axis to know when you are straight up and down, or are you sideways. It's going to help with those longer shots as well to make sure that your rifle's level. It has a purpose, but I personally don't like the gyroscope. I take it out of the screen because it's just one less thing for my eyes to get distracted by when I am hunting. And so you can easily turn that on in the menu under those function settings. And then back and back out, the very last thing that you have is this system settings menu where you can change date and time, language settings, you can format the SD card. And so you can go in here and you can format it. It's automatically going to be on cancel, so you don't accidentally remove any images. You're going to hold down that menu button to reformat it. Once it is formatted, it'll go back to here. You can always go down and check your available storage. It does come with a built-in storage, so you don't have to worry about providing an SD card for the scope to get your recordings done, but you can always come and check this to see if you're getting full, or you can look at it through the app. We have a crane down here at the edge of the pond that I'm going to zoom into and just show you the clarity that we have on it at 8x. Again, this is an optical zoom, so this is where that image booster is going to come into play. You can see that that is moving around. If you want to zoom back out, you're just going to press that again, and it's going to allow you to zoom back out. Want to quickly change from white hot to black hot, you're going to hit that menu key in the center again. See, here is iron hot, and then back to white hot. That is going to conclude everything for the scanning portion of this video. We are now going to move over to the clip-on portion, but if you have any questions specific to that menu walkthrough, please let me know and I'll be happy to answer that for you. As we move into the clip-on portion of the video, I'm going to show you how easy it is to put the scope mount on here. It's going to have the indentation there for that to slide right in, and then you're going to simply line up the holes, and then the 4 screws that are provided, you're just going to put those in there. If you do have a torque wrench, you're going to put it to 35 inch-pounds. Again, if you do not have a torque wrench, do not over-tighten these screws. These screws are going to be Torx screws, so it is going to be a T25 Torx bit that you are going to need to put this on. I'm always going to recommend when you put these in, if you have the ability to get your fingers down in there, always make sure you start them hand tight just to make sure that you're not cross-threading them, and then try to put the tool on there. If you have too big of fingers and you can't get down in there, you can hand tighten it with just the bit, just like that, just to make sure that you're not getting any resistance whatsoever. So you just want to prevent that cross thread. And so again, drop it down in there, use that bit with your hand, make sure it's not giving you any kind of pushback or resistance, and you will be good to go. Now that you have the scope mount on there, you're just going to put these along the Picatinny of your gun and go ahead and mount those in. And it is going to be the same T25 Torx bit on that to mount to your gun. When it comes to using the Hydra 325 as a clip-on, there's some very important details that you are going to want to pay attention to maximize the use of this as a clip-on. So this right here has lower scope mounts. It needs to be raised up just a tad to be in line with the Hydra 325. So that's the very first thing. The next thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make sure that your daytime scope is a 1x base magnification. And so you want it to go from 1x to whatever it needs to, because that 1x is going to look through that scope, look at that screen as if it was your normal eyes at that 1x, and then you're going to have the ability to see through that and see that full screen. Next thing that you are going to want to make sure that you pay attention to is that you put it into the clip-on mode on the settings menu. It's going to be the first setting that you see at the very top. You can turn clip-on mode on or off. You're going to want to make sure that you turn that on. So there's going to be 3 things that are very important when you go to use this as a clip-on. A clip-on provides a lot of versatility. One thing I would encourage you to look at is their quick detach on and off mount that they have that can mount to this Hydra 325 and then quickly go on and off your Picatinny rail. It will hold a good 0. I take them off, on and off all the time with the quick detach mounts, and you can use it as a scanner, and you can put it on your gun, use it as a weapon. Has a lot of versatility there, but those quick detaches, as long as you do not change the tension on that quick attachment, you can quickly take it on and off. So I would encourage you to look at that if you are wanting to use it as a clip-on option. But now what we'll do is we'll transition over to the standalone option where it acts as a regular scope on my 224 Valkyrie. That is a custom build that I have that I use for everyday predator hunting. We're now at the second best part of the video where we get to zero this thermal optic onto my 224 Valkyrie. The very best part of the video is we're actually going to take this out and hunt with it later tonight. So I'm really excited about that. Hopefully we're going to be able to take out some coyotes for some cattle farmers here locally here in the Alabama area. But when it comes to zeroing a thermal scope, almost every single one of them is the same, but they're very easy. It's a one-shot zero, and what you're going to do is you're going to go into the reticle zeroing menu and you're going to aim at the target and you're going to shoot. Once it shoots, you're then going to aim back at where you were aimed initially, and you're going to freeze that image. So once you freeze that image, you're then going to go down into the settings and you're going to move that reticle to your point of impact. And then once you have it at that point of impact, you're going to save it, and then you're going to be done. It's going to be zeroed. That simple. It's very easy. I have a very small target behind me, so I'm going to start at 50 yards, move back to 100, and then get back to 200. So if you have any questions with this portion of the video, please let me know. But let's go ahead and get started shooting. Before we zero this in, one thing that I haven't mentioned is that you have 2 focus points, so you can adjust this right here, move it around, and then this is going to be your primary focus adjustment on the fly. And so you can take it, you can zoom it in, zoom it out, and dial that focus in. So that right there is going to be the focus. I'm going to go ahead and navigate to the reticles and go ahead and turn my reticle back on. I'm a very simple guy. I like the simple little cross there, as my reticle, and I like it in red. Again, it's got multiple options for you. We're going to navigate to the reticle zeroing, and then we are going to take our first shot. You can see here at the top it has zeroing profile, so you can click that and you can go A, B, C, all the way down through Z. So we're going to leave it as A. Again, once we shoot, we're going to freeze that image, and then we're going to move that X and Y axis around, and then we're going to save it. So first thing to do is load up the gun and go ahead and take that first shot dead on the target. So I'm going to go ahead and freeze that while I have it hot. Okay, see, it's frozen, and we can see our point of impact is down in the bottom left. So we're going to click the menu button, and then we're going to start to move this over. So once you have it in line, that right there looks like it is going to be in line. That's going to be a little left, and that's going to be a little to the right. So we're going to go ahead and put that on there. We're going to navigate down to the Y and then lower it down to our impact point. So now once you have it down, you're going to just navigate to the save, and you are going to save it, and then you have it zeroed in. So what we'll do now is we'll back out and just make sure that it hits where we want it to. So when you're using that reflective HVAC tape, it's going to be difficult to see your impact when it's through the center, but you're going to be able to see it all around it. So anytime that you're zeroing a thermal scope, you want to use that reflective HVAC kind of aluminum looking tape. That way you can see it reflect in the daytime. All right, it is dead on bullseye, so what we're going to do now is we're going to back up to 100, and then we're going to back up to 200 and zero it in from there. So once you have it zeroed at 50 yards, you can simply click on the app, and you can navigate from your device over into your ballistics calculator. You can then go in and adjust what you want to use for your bullet. And so you can go in here and hit default, and then you can change it over into what bullet that you want. And so what I did is I went in here, I typed calibers, I scrolled down all the way to 224 Valkyrie. And once I selected 224 Valkyrie, I then went to a 60 grain VMAX, because that's going to be similar to what I'm shooting, and then I added it. It's not going to be exact because I don't have my custom ammo load in here from 1776 ammo, but it's going to give me what I need. I'm going to hit save, and then once I hit save, I'm going to be able to go to my ballistics table, and when I have it zeroed at 50 yards, you have that typed in there that you have it zeroed at 50. You're going to go to this ballistics table, and then when I move back to zero, I should see that it's 2.58 inches high. And so you're going to see it's shooting 2.58 inches over the zero, and then I'm going to be able to move that down to get my zero at 200 yards like I like it. Now that we have the rifle zeroed at 200 yards, what we are going to do now is transition over to our hunt. And so this is going to be my favorite portion of the video. I hope it's your favorite portion, but we're going to go out tonight and we're going to go coyote hunting. So we don't have any hogs in this specific area of Birmingham, but we are going to go out coyote hunting. And so I hope you enjoy this portion of the video. Again, if you have any questions when it comes to zeroing, the technology that is in this scope, or any other questions that you have, please put those in the comments, because it's going to help you and everybody coming behind you. But let's go ahead and get out into the field. You see him?
Yeah, I see him.
Yep. That's a hard shot, so let's just give it a second. He sit down.
Let me get your scanner.
That's not the scanner. That's the scanner. Yeah. Let's see if you see any other ones. You want to take the shot? You ready? On the 1, 2, 3.
Double.
Good hit.